Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to the Divi Spaces. Today, we're going to be talking about Divi DeFi update. I'm sure you'll all be waiting for that. A bit about our dev journal, what I've been working on, and Divi shorts, not the ones you wear to the beach, luckily. But we'll talk about that as well. So lots to come. So if you're joining us later and if you're going to listen to us on YouTube or Twitter later on, I'll start with a quick brief introduction to Divi and then we'll get straight into it. So Divi project was created back in 2017, and the blockchain has been running successfully since September of 2018. The goal of Divi has always been to make crypto easy and accessible for everyone, everywhere. And throughout the time, when we're talking about everything, you will hear about how we've made it very easy and simple for everyone to use. There are many facets to Divi, and obviously, all the ones who are joining us now, we've got the Divi Foundation side of things where we focus on the Divi coin and the blockchain side of things, and there is heaps of really cool stuff coming up. So, always keep an eye out for that. If you want to find out more, please head over to our diviproject.org website. And on the Divi Lab site, we have two key products, Divi Wallet, which, we've done lots of stuff with, and that's our most popular product. It is a self-custodial mobile wallet with over 270 plus tokens. You can send, receive, stake to earn, and buy very easily without any fuss. So if you haven't downloaded it, please do take a look at diviwallet.com. If you want to have something that's really about crypto made easy, this is the one. And then secondly, we also introduced Divi DeFi, which you can access at dividefi.com. You can also earn on top of the staking vaults in our wallet. And if you want to learn more about it, we did a whole bunch of articles about, what DeFi is, how you can earn, things to look out for on our Divi project blog. So take a look at that as well. And as I mentioned before, we're going to be starting with talking about Divi DeFi, followed up by some updates on what's coming around the master nodes and Divi desktop. The Divi Shorts, which is our podcast series that we're going to talk about. Wes, I'm sure you're excited about that. And then some questions perfect. And then some questions to end with, as we do usually. So with that out of the way, over to you, Rob, just to talk about DeFi.
Sure. It's just short. It looks like we've come up with a solution for dealing with some of the issues that we were having with the former custodial outfits that we were working with that no longer want to do this due to the regulatory landscape getting complicated. It looks like we got a good solution for that. And so we should be able to move forward now, wrapping that part up, a little bit of tech stuff. And the way I understand it is that we are looking sometime in the next 2 weeks for the rollout of that, approximately. So again, I hate putting dates out there because stuff always comes up, and then you said 2 weeks, but that's what it's looking like at this moment.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it comes down to. Obviously, you're talking about two things, DeFi rollout and development. And when you're developing something, you have the layout for it. And we have prototypes, right? So that's the good thing. So the time at which it's going to release, sorry, I'm interjecting here, should be more expedient in general than other things because, of course, you can only influence or only have an effect on what you can control. In this case, by the way it's being designed and built out, it looks like we'll be able to help and then control some, which then you don't have those hurdles that come into waiting for somebody else to do something. So that's what I would add.
Yeah, that was part of the solution, was helping to bring some of it home. So I think we've gotten back on track on that, and we should see it pretty shortly.
100%.
And that's that.
And then we've got some updates on some dev side of things with masternode replication and the desktop world.
Yeah. So obviously some of you have seen some of the information that I've been sharing about bashers. Anybody who wants to ask me about bashers in the future, I can tell you the story and the history of those people. But the bashers and some of the devs get together, and they've been hammering out the details of vaults, and some of that has to do with the new engine. Everybody is looking forward to information, right? That's why Rob has been tapped, and he's bringing together things in the light paper, and you'll have much more information coming together. Obviously, the light paper will be one portion of it, but with Ranuk and with the development team, with yours truly, you're going to start getting more and more information on the updates coming out that will deal with the masternode migration. It will come with the implementation of the vaults. Masternode migration doesn't mean that when this happens, you need to migrate a masternode right away. It's a progressive thing. You can do it. Obviously, you're encouraged to do it if you want. But the most important thing is that when you have your engine on your desktop right now, the daemon itself, that's the heart and soul of Divi's blockchain, is that thing we call the daemon. And right now, your daemon is 2.5.1, right? So that's just version 5 of that. When you get this latest update, there's going to be a big jump. It's going to go to a 2.14 at a minimum, I think, maybe a 2.15, somewhere in there. And the reason why I'm saying this is because we are moving towards. So here's another big milestone. We're moving towards Divi 3.0. And this is where the foundation is going to start for all of the things that we are speaking about, which will be talked about in the white paper. So you're going to see lots of information coming about master nodes. You're going to see lots of information coming out about vaults. You're going to see a lot more updates start happening on the desktop wallet, which is still the foundation of the entire blockchain. And you're going to see that happening, and it's going to start ramping up quite a bit in the next few weeks and in the months to come before the foundation is set for Divi 3.0, which everything else will be built upon. If you've seen and followed my tweets, we're talking about this foundation that we're working towards that will build multiple foundations on top of it, and those multiple foundations building on top of it, as I've been trying to stress, deal with utility. And I think that's probably the heart and soul of where we're going. Crypto Made Easy is the philosophy built on and standing on the firm ground that Satoshi built, which is user sovereignty of assets. So we have that. And then, of course, over Crypto Made Easy, we're going to have all sorts of things dealing with utility. And that includes for users, and that includes for vendors, businesses, whatever it may be. So, yeah, lots of information coming very fast down the pipeline.
Yeah, we're going to be very busy over the coming.
Very busy.
I think we've got a question from the Divi Daddy, if you don't mind, voice.
Oh, sure, I don't mind.
Yeah. Just connecting. Yeah, I think you're connected now, Patrick.
Hey, I just wanted to come in and say to the voice, thank you. I haven't been to a good church service like that in a while. I felt like you just took us to church talking about exactly how this aligns with Satoshi's visions. And I think when you get back to sovereignty, like these are the things that really speak hope to me when we talk about a project's future. Because as we see in mainstream, crypto these days, people are trying to do what's new and what's sexy, but they don't have the end user and the vision in mind that's sustainable. This is something that I can still stand behind, and to me it's sustainable when you start talking about how we can more emulate Satoshi's vision and add to it and complement
Correct.
it rather than building something that's going to try to take away from what we know to be true and sovereign.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, thanks for taking it.
Preach it, brother.
Thank
Start
you so
passing
much.
that plate around.
It's in the DAO, that plate.
It's in the DAO. If everybody would, everybody on this chat, if you have an idea, I don't want to, digress a little bit, but it's just like I stated last week, which of course didn't get recorded. The DAO is a fantastic idea. Is it the ultimate? No. I mean, obviously we'd like to see the DAO become something more. That's why Rob is so excited about it, is that everybody has an idea. That doesn't mean that everybody agrees with the idea. What matters in consensus is that majority. That matters in blockchain, that matters in decentralized autonomous organizations, right? And so if you have an idea, you want something or see an idea and you like something, vote on it. Make that a priority. Like anything in life, if you want something good, you have to put a little bit of muscle to get it to happen. So again, I stated last week, crypto made easy doesn't really mate with crypto made lazy. And so get off the bench and, and start helping out. That's the
Hey,
DAO is one place where you can do that.
on that, Renu, can I go off
Yeah,
book for a
go
second
for
here
it.
on the DAO? I want to just give an update a little bit on that because, as you know, we're forming a DAO. It's not a DAO yet. Right now, the proposals are only about, well, except for this last one, but are generally only about the construction of the DAO itself. There isn't a real ability yet for anybody to come in and just say, hey, I got an idea, let's do this. We're trying really hard to get to that place where the DAO controls actual funds and all that kind of stuff. That said, I want to invite everybody that if you do have a DAO idea, please bring it to me so I can put it up. And I say it this way because I've had a couple people come to me with what they thought were DAO ideas, and after talking about it, I pointed out that they were not, that they were like, this was like, they have been in general kind of like business or toy ideas, which are things that you would build with our blockchain. But they are something that's anybody could build on the blockchain, but it's not something specifically DAO related. Could be one day, but what I had to remind these people are that the DAO has to self-fund, has no developers attached to it, so there isn't a thing that the DAO goes, like if you have an idea, there isn't a thing where the DAO goes in its current form. DAO goes and does. We're just not there yet. So we are getting there. I think we've got almost enough to kind of form the platform as we have crafted it so far. And again, can always change. And I think there's just a couple more things we need to get out there. And then we'll start working on implementing the actual software. Josh has been very kind and offered to help with that to make sure that we get that up and running, or at least version maybe 0.1 of it. And then we can get into the governance model that we have, which means that with that, anybody who is qualified can start proposing stuff they want. So we are not quite there yet, but we are on the path and really getting involved. And if you do have a DAO idea in our current construction, please talk to me. I'm happy to put it up. I try not to act as a filter, but more as a facilitator. But if something's not really actually DAO related or DAO possible at this moment, that's what we're going to talk about. But that's how things get up there. That's how even Nick did that. Nick came to me with his idea about getting on Gate.io. We talked about it. That's definitely a DAO thing. We put it up, and it doesn't look good. So I didn't move it forward as a proposal. But in the future, it won't be like this at all. I shouldn't have to do any of this, and nobody should want me to.
The other thing that I would add is that just like anything, as you're building out prototypes, you may start with something and then end up with your ultimate idea, right? Yeah. And so the DAO today isn't on Divi, but the DAO of the future very much could be. And so I think that it should be, exactly. Yeah. So I want to stress this, that while it was taking time to build the Divi blockchain 1.0, during that time, we all had some DivX, right? And so that's what was used for representation of the coin, right? And so we started there, and then we became, as a community, we became part of the real blockchain, the native blockchain. The same thing is true of the DAO. So currently, as the DAO is becoming built in this iteration or will come to fruition in this iteration, it may be on a separate blockchain, but the ultimate goal is, as Rob stated, and as I expressed earlier when we're talking about the changes coming, utility, one of those will be the focus on getting the DAO on the native blockchain. And I think the fact that I even say that should all of a sudden make everybody curious. That's all I'm going to say.
That's great. Thank you both. Damn it, Rob. I had a nice segue planned earlier. I'm joking. That was great. I think, everyone, please get involved with that. And then the next one is a Divi podcast series that Voice and I have been working on called Divi Shorts. Voice, do you want to share some info about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Divi Shorts will be in the vein of my old community-produced videos. They were usually about 5 minutes. The goal of these videos is basic crypto knowledge and information. It won't be complicated. Or I should say, well, crypto is always complicated. We will try to distill it down to something a little bit less complicated. They should be shareable by you with everyone, especially because they're going to only be 1 to 3 minutes in length. And so we'll hit topics of proof of work and proof of stake in the first iterations. You know, the generalization of what is blockchain. I'm going to try to do that in 1 to 3 minutes, right? And so that should help you with friends and family member, even yourself. Most of you on this listening are very familiar with blockchain. It might not necessarily be for you, but it could be for other people. And that should help stimulate questions, conversation, curiosity on what this means. And I'm excited to do some of the things that I really love doing, which is doing these videos, doing these audios, and sharing that knowledge, right? Learning and sharing, and then sharing and learning has always been my passion. And of course, Ranuk is helping make that possible.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that as well. I think all of us, especially, when we are talking to you, we always go with learning something from you and also your eagerness to keep learning and share that with us as well, which is amazing. So we're all very excited for that. And I think the other thing is exactly like Boy said, this is going to put Divi in front of more people. It's going to increase our discoverability. And again, that's another way to get more people into our ecosystem. So that's going to, positively impact everything else we do. So all of the things we do, as we've always said from the get-go, is done with a purpose in mind. We're not just doing stuff willy-nilly. It's always with a clear purpose as to why we're doing it. So it will obviously help you all, but also bring more people into our ecosystem, which is great. With that, I think we can go to the questions, Voice. Unless, Rob, you have anything else you want to touch upon before that?
I don't. I think we're good.
All right. Well, I can hit some of the quick support questions and development questions. Excuse me. There's a couple there that'll be marketing in general. But the first question that we had on the list was, is it possible to implement the Bitcoin Lightning Network in a non-custodial way in the Divi wallet? Well, there are all sorts of wallets that are non-custodial, that are Lightning Network capable. What it's going to come down to is future, right? So we have other things that take energy at this moment in time. And implementing the Lightning Network, which is a secondary layer over Bitcoin, so it's not quite Bitcoin, it's a secondary layer over it. It will require implementing the ability to be able to broadcast to a Lightning node. And so, I would say that will be something that is, in fact, I know that's something that some of our devs have talked about adding. So is that possible? It's absolutely possible. Is it today? No. We have Divi 3.0, which is our goal at this moment in time, which does also include the mobile wallet. So somewhere in and around there, that could happen. But that was the first question. And the second question that we had, you've already answered, which was about the farms and where that's going, Rob. So we don't have to worry about that one. And then there was a question about integration of multi-sig features into the Divi wallet ecosystems. Would multi-sig made easy be a good feature? And I will tell you that right now, in the alpha versions, there is already multi-sig. I shared an image of that a little while ago before we're starting the journey to the huge upgrade that is coming to Divi. And multi-sig was one of those features and functions. We did have to put it on the side burner as we started working on the very energy consuming process of the vault change in both systems. So multi-sig, you should see. Now on mobile wallet, that's outside of my sphere. Because that requires a different kind of developmental process and different kind of broadcast. It should be and could be and possible also on mobile. How that would happen, that's beyond my mind. But on desktop, it's already there. I worked on that with the desktop team. When? Definitely after. I couldn't even tell you. I won't even give you a date. But it's already there. It just needs to be beta tested, and then it needs to go live. So there's a lot of things that still need to happen to it, but I've already done it. I think that was the technical question. So I don't think there was anything else.
Rob, I don't know if you want to weigh in on that one as well from the mobile wallet side.
No, I think we're good there.
Okay, perfect. All right. There was a question about what is happening in the La Liga space. I don't know if it's La Liga exactly what they're doing or just with us. Then I'll take it as what we are doing with them. And so Nick and I had the meeting with them earlier this week, which went very well. So this is looking at kind of more opportunities to kind of work together. We have a follow-up on Tuesday. So far it's good. There's more people interested from their side to hear more about how we can actually work on things together. So that's what's happening on that side. Was there any more marketing ones? I think there's a general one about like a market, what's happening. Any of you want to take that?
Well, that's I kind of gave it to you. I right. I mean, obviously, marketing updates. You guys all know that I'm not into the market, right? So I'm not a day trader. I'm not following green and red candles. I don't know all the little Japanese terms for all this stuff. That takes somebody who really knows. And I kind of think it's black magic, man. Anybody who can sit there and read all these candles and kind of guess out where the market's going. Is it a double whatever, triangle? I have no idea. So
it changes from week to week.
I would even participate in that, exactly. So maybe there could be somebody we could add to the show that could talk about the market that has that level of knowledge. That is not my focus. My focus is, I'm going to state it again, I'm not part of partnerships. That would be Rob, or that would be Ranuk, and that certainly is Nick. I'm all about utility. So ask me about that. I can help you.
I think it's a good idea. We could, potentially bring someone in, especially or one of our partners that can talk about that. I mean, I always like in the morning, first thing, like I look at, what's happening in the crypto space, look at the news, and it's literally like it changes, I'm sure you guys have seen as well. Like, it may make some positive progress and then something bad happens in the US, or, how it's been for the last few weeks. And then it changes every week.
We don't have to even get too hard into this, because without even being a technical analyst, you don't need a TA expert to tell you that Divi has been really having a hard time keeping some stronger prices in this bear market. With that said, there's a lot of opportunity here, right? There's going to be a lot of opportunity for some of the people who were able to buy in at 0.004 that may sell at 0.001. So we may have a little while to get back to where the prices we all want to see is going to be. But it could come back very quickly with such a low liquidity coin on the market. And I think that's what we got to remember is, if the entire community decides this whole bear market is over and now we're going straight up bull season, it doesn't take a whole lot of us to buy $10 of Divi. Pretty soon, no one's selling Divi. Everyone's buying Divi.
That's true.
It comes back just as fast as it went down. So I think for us, we just got to remember, you could have a TA guy on here. All they're going to do is give you a picture of what happened the last week and the last 6 months and some theory of what they think may happen. But Bitcoin is the heartbeat of the whole crypto market. So when we see Bitcoin move, Divi will start making moves. That's just the reality of things. We just need to stay focused. build.
Yeah, and the team can't influence price, right? The team has nothing to do with that. It can be nobody that's on Divi Labs can state something about pricing. What I would say is that I think right now we're in capitulation, and Neegs and I talk about this all the time, and I think this is good. Now that might sound negative that I state that, but I think this is good. I think that there is some need for some movement, and I think that what those, a lot of people throw around diamond hands, and that's kind of dismissive to people, right? Because there's a lot of fear, and it doesn't take that into consideration. But I think that there is some diamond handing that should take place. You have to remember that if somebody is selling, if there's a big red line and they're liquidating, I'm telling you right now, it's not just sitting there on the exchange. If there's a red candle, somebody bought it all up. Somebody else bought what you're selling every single time. So it's both a buy and a sell on the exchanges. You have to ask yourself why. If everything is so bad, why are they buying? Why are they holding? Why do I keep seeing all these huge volumes? Right now we have velocity because there is some capitulation going on. It's going back and forth. But why are those people buying? That's the question.
But that said, I'm not part of Divi Labs. I am nothing other than just someone who really loves the project and loves the people and loves
exactly.
The community. So I can tell you guys from my perspective that I can see the writing on the wall. The price is not really fun to look at these days, but there are many of us who are in that same seat with a lot of other projects that we love as well. Some which have no hope of coming back because there are no honest, hardworking people in the community developing. We don't have that problem in this project. We have an abundance of people who care, an abundance of people who are still waiting for good news. And as soon as they get some, it's going to be just like it is when the FUD hits. It's going to be the opposite. It's going to be straight up FOMO season. And we're going to be having a replay of this conversation. It will be hilarious.
Exactly. So I would state it with this, since most of you have known that I've supported, worked on, I've volunteered, and I don't know, Rob has seen me volunteer in so many communities. They always ask. My focus has always been the same about learning and sharing, right? And that's the big thing. With Divi, Jeff's philosophy of crypto made easy, and then Satoshi's idea of sovereignty, my why, if you choose to join and stay and continue, is rooted in the community. It just needs to always resonate with the principles of sovereign freedom, right? So you guys have seen how I write, how I stand on the philosophy of humility and service, but I kind of symbolize that when I write it, and I call it washing feet. This is just the direction we're going. I need everyone to understand that I'm continually working, I'm continually helping, and so is Rob, and so is Ranuk. I'm on the technical end and on the support end, so I see both. I am driving this engine hot. I mean, it's glowing, it's redlining, and all the work that I'm doing. You just don't see it as much. And so if you could hear the engine, you'd hear this huge hum going on. But there's a whole team of people that are sort of the behind the scenes, and some of those behind the scenes would include Random String or Death by Janitorial Combat, who is one of the most hardest working devs that I've ever met in my life. And you have people like Neegs and Gary, and there are other devs on the mobile team that you don't ever have a chance to talk to. Those people that I'm talking about right now are the future, and the core dev, Death by Janitorial Combat, has been working on this. Rob, would you say over a year and a half is probably a good estimation? And it started with the vaults. You just haven't seen and heard it, and so this is the things you need to understand. There's nobody stopping. Everybody is driving hard. The horse is sweating, and it's moving forward. The things that we don't on this team sort of even pay attention to are the partnerships, and those are important too. But on this side of the team, we control what we can control by building things out, and that has to do with the core engine. And that's where I put my hope. That's where I put my energy. Crypto made easy, sovereignty, and now the driving force is utility, 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 and that's coming to fruition.
I think it's actually longer than a year and a half. That's my only comment.
That could be. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And wonderfully put. Thank you, boys. And I hope you all feel like the passion and the drive we all have as well. So, and thank you for always, being part of this journey with us. With that said, any questions on anything we've covered today?
Also, Divi Daddy, thank you for your input. That was also well said.
Absolutely, 100%.
Divi Daddy's our new TA guy.
Oh man, I love TA, right? It's fun, but at the end of the day, like it's just not my strategy. When I talk crypto, when I talk Bitcoin, I'm a Bitcoin maximalist at heart. To me, the simple strategy is DCA. Divi is just like, when you go and you're having fun with your friends, like, and you want to bet on a team or a sport, like Divi is my team, right? That's just all I am. I'm just a Divi fan, and I believe in like there is opportunity to do something really cool and make money here, but that's not the goal. It's more of like, I'm just going to DCA and trust into the system. But the TAs on this it's pretty simple. There's a line you can draw. It's like maybe a little curvy, but I think we can all connect the dots.
So it's DDCA, Divi dollar cost average.
I'll take that too. Well, the way I actually think is it's a Toshik cost average.
There you go.
So we've got some people who want to ask some questions. Yeah. Anybody want to go?
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I just want,
good evening, good morning, good afternoon to you too.
Thank you. I wanted to say thank you for all your hard work and moving the project along, trying to take it to where I think most of us want it, if not all. I've been a long time holder, and it's not financial advice, but I think if we're not at the bottom, we're so close to it. If you want to get a better master node, now's your chance. You should be buying here. That's just my opinion. But I missed some of these sessions over the last few weeks, and was wondering if you could just do a 1 or 2 minute synopsis of some of the bigger changes that have taken place, like in the dev team and in the people behind the project. If you wouldn't mind, I sure would appreciate it. Thank you.
I'll let Rob answer that, but I will also let you know that the Twitter spaces, except for last week, are all on the Divi Project YouTube. So if you go to the YouTube channel, instead of just getting a synopsis, if you really want to hear the comments and the questions, they're all there too. So again, and this one will be there because we're recording this week also. So that's good for everyone to be able to know that, and it's good for everyone to be able to share it. But I'll let Rob answer.
Okay, let me just make sure I understood the question. I think you wanted me to kind of elucidate some kind of like more information about the devs who are at their keyboards working on this. Is that what I understood?
Yeah. Has there been a change in the team, like a kind of some moving in, some moving out?
Yeah,
okay,
I got you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, so it's so everything is there's no step change. Everything is kind of an evolution. And so from 6 months ago to now, I think you would see kind of, a fish turn into a lizard, right? You'd see the fish and the lizard. But along the way, it wasn't really like that so much. So there's been changes along that time, even if I go from a year ago to now. But I think in the last 6 months or so, or maybe we're at 9 months, there's been stability in our development team. And in fact, I think we've seen a lot more efficiency, trust, understanding, communication since those changes have happened, and it's a lot easier and less stress to work. One more thing, I think I have said this before. I'm actually looking to hire somebody, so to help complement the team a little bit more right now. So all of that happens, but there's no there is no step change happening like right now or anything like that. But there has been, if you looked at the team a year ago and you looked at the team now, you would absolutely see a large difference, both in work manner, work, I think even work ethic, and efficiency.
Yeah, I if I'm going to add something to answer it more directly and bluntly, the swamp was drained, and I've said this before. The swamp was drained, and that starts from all the way at the top, and I mean at a sea level, all the way down to a dev. The swamp was drained, and when we drained the swamp, when the plug was cleaned out and there was no more spoiled water in that tub, all of a sudden productivity went up 500%. That's a little bit of hyperbole in there, but yeah, but it's an enormous amount, and so I'm excited. That's all I'm going to say.
All right, I wasn't going to go that far, but you go.
I happily
go,
would.
boys.
I happily would.
Thank you, guys.
The change was positive.
Yeah,
I think I just expressed how positive it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ryan. Mike, I think you have a question as well.
Yeah, I was going to bring it up, and I know Josh isn't on here, but we haven't heard about NFT 2.0, and I was just curious if the implementation of that has changed, or if the strategy's changed on how we're going to use it in the future.
Yeah, I think I can answer some of that. As I think I've mentioned many times, my memory is awful. So the actual details are hard for me, but there is a set of Ethereum proposals, which will kind of probably filter out to other ones, that captured a lot of that. So that's good for us. We don't actually have to develop it. We're just going to start implementing it when it's ready.
That's an excellent question too. So when you have a question like that, that's Divi Innovations. So that's even separate from what Rob would be partnered with, although he does communicate with Josh quite often. But if you post that question on that forum that I keep tweeting about or in this shared, then we would be more prepared because we could actually get with Josh beforehand because he always can't join the spaces. So I'm encouraging. Yeah, go ahead.
I could actually guide him to the correct EIP for that because that's not this moment. Yeah.
So I'm just saying. Yeah.
We can also get Josh to come on to one of our next spaces as well.
Josh is awesome. He's great to have him here.
Yeah, please use the forum to ask questions so that we can be here to answer them better than putting us on the spot. I don't mind being put on the spot for stuff I'm comfortable with, but pulling out numbers and details is very difficult on the spot.
Very difficult. Yep.
Well, the follow-on was going to be, you guys probably can't answer that, but can we get Josh, especially if DeFi is getting ready to roll out again? A lot of people have forgotten all of the knowledge that he was sharing before, so it'd be good to bring us up to speed.
Absolutely.
That would be great when we are when we're about to release. We'll do that. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, that's part of the comms because we're also going to go through like the educational series, like obviously follow up to that. And with all of these, where we can, we'll also do like video walkthroughs. So it's very, super easy for you guys to kind of use it. We've got that in the pipeline. So when we're ready, like Rob said, we will definitely do that and get Josh on one of the spaces too.
Yeah, maybe a clarification so people know that Divi Labs is one thing, Divi Innovations is something else. They do touch each other, but and they do integrate together, but it is a separate sort of mental division in their focus. So it can be even a different team. Yep.
Yeah. Perfect. I think we've gone up to 41 minutes. So if you've got any other questions, do follow up with us on Twitter or Discord, or through the support network, so through the ticketing system. So just let us know, and we're always here to talk to you.
We don't have tickets, we have conversations. I'll state that. We don't ever use the word tickets because you guys are people and community. We're human beings. So yeah, tickets, I hate that. Sorry.
Just technicality. It's a ticket, right?
It's a conversation. It's a conversation. So open those conversations in the portal. We'll happily help you.
Yeah, that's why I said Discord and Twitter first.
You guys sound like
all right.
I'm just
right. That's it. I'm done. I'm going to the pub.
Okay, bye.
Enjoy. Bye.
Have a great weekend, everyone. Thank you for joining us again, and thank you for all your questions and all of the support as always.
All right.
See you on the next
Thank you
one.
so much.
Take care.
Bye.